Hey guys, Garo97 again. This time with a review of the 144 scale high-grade Universal Century Delta Gundam from the Gundam Unicorn OVA series. Immediately going on with the main event, the colors. And the gold coating is absolutely gorgeous. They did a really great job with the gold coating and with the undergating on this thing. Every part is undergated. And the only part where you can see some nub marks is this right here. This one, unfortunately, the only part that wasn't undergated. So you get 3 nub marks, 1, 2, and on the other side, the third one. But other than that, I couldn't find any immediate nub marks that really stood out. And these are very small as nub marks go anywhere. So overall on that, they did a really great job. There is, however, one minor inconsistency on the gold coating of my machine, and that is that there is a little ball of paint that sits on top of the rest. Now, fortunately for me, there is a spare part that is exactly the same that goes onto the transformation block. So, for me, that's not a big issue. So I just hope that for anyone who buys this thing, that little inconsistency isn't on some part that cannot be replaced. For most of the rest of the machine, we get a very nice dark blue. We get it on the body, the bottom of the legs here, and even for all of the joints. And then right here, we can see that we also have a little bit of gray here and there, but really not a lot, even also a bit on the transformation block right there. But as you can see, most of what would usually be gray is blue on this thing. And then the final color we're getting for the mobile suit itself is a very nice dark burgundy red. For little details on the wings, even the hoses here on the back of the legs, the hoses on the arms, and really they go extremely well with that very nice shiny gold. And finally, for the stickers. Usually a bigger sticker sheet isn't a good sign, but here most of them are completely understandable. For starters, we get the usual ones, shiny metallic green, one for the main camera, one for the back camera, eye stickers, but not just one pair of eye stickers, we get 2 pairs of them. We get just pure black ones, very similar to the Hyakushiki, and then we also get the ones I used, which are with the red eyes, and really, they very much stand out on this thing and make it look very, very cool. Then moving on, we get more red ones. A lot of red ones actually. When we turn them around, we get all these little ones inside of the thruster, and that is what all of the bottom row is for. Then we get some more for the shield. Now these possibly could have been parts, but so be it. So all 4 of these are stickers. This one is a sticker. And then moving on right here, one I didn't apply, well 2 I didn't apply. These 2 which are supposed to go onto the arms. But, you know, I wasn't really too sure if I wanted to put them there because that gold is just so nice looking. The final 2 that go onto the model are these 2 red ones right there. And then the final sticker is for the beam rifle, a nice shiny metallic green one for the scope. Up next is articulation. The head goes a bit up, a bit down, a bit forwards and backwards, and rotates around a little bit, about that far. The face is quite on the long side. And then again, you don't really want to force that in case you would scrape off some of that beautiful gold coating. The arms rotate around all the way, go forwards and backwards on a hinge joint. There's no ball joint in there. And go up about that far. And again, and unlike what you might expect, this thing is not connected to the shoulder. This is, well, not connected to the shoulder armor. This is directly connected to the shoulder itself. And the arm will rotate around below the shoulder, bend at the elbow, add 1 joint for slightly more than 90 degrees. Seems to be a very staple thing with the Zeta machines. Hands are on ball joints, will wiggle around, turn around, do everything a ball joint does. The waist is on a ball joint for nice forwards, nicely backwards, rotates around all the way. Then on the back we have those beautiful giant wings. Now then, this right there is on a ball joint, will wiggle around, turn around a bit, go in and out. Then the bottom flaps go a bit up and down, and the top flaps will also go up and down a little bit. The legs go out about that far. So unfortunately, yeah, the side skirts go out quite far, but the legs only go out about that far. Rotate around like that, not all the way. Front skirts molded together can be separated. And like go forward like that. Backwards, not nearly as much. Bend at the knee. At 2 joints, there we go. And the feet are on a ball joint and at a hinge at the top. Go forwards, backwards, we have the toe joint. Side to side nicely, and we'll also rotate around once we get this flap here out of the way, which will go up and down. And then this flap here will also go up and down. And this flap will go up to reveal a little thruster right there. And then with all those out of the way, the feet will rotate around all the way. Also, these things can go up and down. So overall, the articulation is pretty much standard for the Zeta-esque machines. Nothing too horrible about it, nothing too fantastic about it, and overall pretty solid. Moving right along to the accessories, and let's start off with a few we've already seen. The beam rifle comes with its own dedicated trigger finger hand. Simply pop off the fist there, pop it in, there we go. The hand, well, the beam rifle has a peg on it, fits right into the hand, so it's in there extremely solid. Next up, we have the shield, very nice and big for a Zeta machine. So this is definitely going to offer a lot more protection than the shield you usually see on the Zeta Gundam or the Zeta Pluses. And it looks very, very nice. Also houses both of the beam sabers. Simply clips on there. There we go. And of course will fit on both sides of the arm. And then with the accessories that's on here, the beam sabers, we get 2 very nice clear yellow beams, just to go along with the whole gold motif this thing has. One thing I always have to try out if beam sabers are positioned like this is to try to put the beams in there, but unfortunately that's not going to work here. Simply pry them out. Now the beam sabers do have one big piece of unfortunate news. As you can see right now, he has 2 closed fist hands, and for the beam sabers you need open fist hands. Like this one right here. Unfortunately, that is the only one we're getting. We're not getting a second closed open fist hand for the left hand. Also, he doesn't seem to be able to hold on to it very well, so the one we're getting isn't super functional to begin with. You can hold on to it sometimes, but not really that great. Then again, for a gold-coated machine, I wouldn't want this thing to scrape off either, so yeah, a bit give and take there. Putting that aside, we do get one more pair of hands, and that is the open palm hands. And before we move on to the transformation, here are the leftover parts. Few junk parts, a few covers for the hands in case you don't like your gold on your hands, and finally this whole transformation brick, which is not used. Instead, we're going to use this thing. And as with any good parts formation, we begin by ripping things to pieces. And as with every parts formation, we're left with quite a few leftover pieces. But getting on with the parts formation, we of course need the basic brick for it. First, let me simply grab onto the backpack here, put that in there, back skirt goes on there. And I have to say, ripping the entire thing to pieces wasn't as terrifying as I was expecting it to be, because, well, to be quite honest, I was slightly afraid of potentially damaging that beautiful gold coating this thing has. Simply slides in there. And really that would be the main reason not to try out this transformation too much. It doesn't look like anything is going to really scratch off, but it's always a small risk you're taking. Because for example, the pieces here, you know, they kind of overlap a bit. And if you're not careful, you don't want to damage anything like that. That piece is supposed to be there. Take this. There we go. And one piece I forgot to take apart completely. Alrighty. From the top, that goes out. This goes out. And then we bring in this piece right here. Now this is kind of disappointing because it seems like this is something they could have achieved with just the model. I mean, bending the feet the right way doesn't seem like it would be that hard to do, but so be it. Put it in there, the usual Zeta leg transformation. And now everything just goes in there. That goes on that bit. And then with the wing on here, the entire right side is already done. There we go. Now, to complete the thing, we just gotta attach the nose cone right there. And isn't this one of the shiniest Zeta Gundams you've ever seen? By that, of course, I mean Zeta Gundam-esque machines you've ever seen. And I must say, as far as the transformation goes, I really love those double wings on this thing. But we still need one final finishing touch. The beam rifle, this collapses in and reveals the peg, which will then go onto the wings, which apparently I put the wrong way around. That's better. And now we can put the beam rifle underneath. So if for some reason you'd want to buy two of these, well, then you can put another beam rifle on the other side. Or, you know, buy the Delta Gundam and use that beam rifle on the other side. It might be slightly different, but it sure is a hell of a lot cheaper. And, you know, this looks pretty damn nice. It's very nice to have the symmetrical beam rifles on there. So now it's kind of a shame that there weren't two beam rifles with this set. I mean, for the price, it might have been a cool extra feature on this thing. Then all you got to do is put it on an action base, and you have a good transformation for a gorgeous looking machine. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And I don't think my answer is gonna come as a surprise to anyone. For starters, does this thing look absolutely gorgeous? Yes. The gold is simply stunning. And if it hadn't been for that little imperfection here on my model kit, it would have been complete perfection. It looks fantastic, and they did an extremely good job on the undergating, with only 3 nub marks being really visible at all. So all of that is great. On top of that, the other colors come together very well. We have the nice dark burgundy red, we have the dark blue, and it all forms a very, very cool color scheme. On top of that, it's a Zeta-esque machine, typical Zeta-esque machine construction for a model kit, meaning it's a solid model kit. Nothing really wrong with it, nothing too fantastic about it, but combined with that gold coating, it's a fantastic model kit to have. Then of course, what's holding this thing back is, as you all expected, the price. 4,200 yen, making this one of the most expensive high grades out there, even on par with a lot of the master grades. Now, heck, more expensive than a lot of the master grades. And 4,200 yen actually puts it right behind the Psycho Gundam in price, which retails for 5,000 yen, making that thing the 4th most expensive high grade. With this thing at 4,200 yen being the exact same price as the titanium finish Unicorn Gundam. So, as expensive as the thing is, it doesn't really seem like a ludicrous price for a coated model kit, with a lot of similar model kits, such as the titanium finished Unicorn or titanium finished Sinanju, being at that same ballpark. And the same goes for the gold coated Akatsuki in 1/100 scale. That thing is also very expensive for what you're getting because of that gold coating. With all of those things considered, the Delta Gundam can, well, I can personally recommend the Delta Gundam to two kinds of people. The first, the people who really like the Delta Gundam and shiny mobile suits like this in general. The second kind of people, the kind of people who are really looking for that crowning jewel of their 1/144 scale collection. This thing looks striking. Let's put it once again next to the Unicorn Gundam here. It's a rather big machine, it's shiny, it's gold, and it's really going to be the attention grabber of your collection. Put this thing in the middle and everyone is going to be looking at the Delta Gundam. Even if there's a much bigger machine right next to it, put it next to a Psycho Gundam and I can assure you they're still going to see that thing. Now with Neo Zeon or Dendrobium might be a different story, but that thing is guaranteed to grab the attention of everyone. My third recommendation I'm going to make now is for the other kinds of people. Grab it when it's on sale. Even if there's only a little bit of percentage off of this thing, with 4,200 yen, even 10% is going to make quite a difference. That's what I did. There was a bit of a sale on, well, there was like a general sale on it, and I decided to grab it. Just that little bit extra money off, and this thing becomes a lot more affordable and really fantastic. If you're into 1/144 scale models, this thing is a great crowning jewel. Just don't forget to use your official Earth Federation Space Force endorsed cleaning cloth to clean up any fingerprints on this thing. Because, well, it's a fingerprint magnet, and what better to get rid of those nasty fingerprints than an Earth Federation Space Force cleaning cloth. So, for size comparisons, first of all, here he is next to the two machines he's most closely related to, the Hyakushiki and the Delta Plus. Of course, for those who don't know it yet, the Hyakushiki was originally supposed to be the Delta Gundam, but due to various difficulties, they decided to, well, downgrade the model and turn it into the Hyakushiki. Then later on, when the design was a bit refined, it was turned into the Delta Plus. Sadly enough, the Delta Gundam was never actually made. And really, it's a shame because it's a damn fine looking machine. Then here's next to some more Zetas, the Zeta Plus and the original Zeta Gundam, of course, because who can forget about that machine? And there's still more where that came from. The Lightning Gundam and the Lightning Zeta Gundam. Because it seems like Sunrise and Bandai like their Zeta Gundams, so should you. And I think that these two are definitely my two favorite ones of the bunch. Of course, the Delta Gundam obviously has that fantastic gold coating for it, and well, the Lightning Zeta Gundam is a badass design. And finally, here is next to the standard size Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3. Next to the Gym Custom, you can see just how big the Delta Gundam really is. And well, that's all for this review, and see you guys next time.